An ordinary pencil can't be a cheating tool. A girl uses a barcode on it to represent the answers to the multiple choice questions, thus ensuring the accurate transmission of answers. Other than that, a piano song can also be a cheating tool. She uses the four common fingerings of the piano to represent the four options of multiple choice questions. So if she taps on the table, others will immediately know the answers. Moreover, she can do the sets of papers in the same exam and transmit the answers to others. Through these cheating methods, the girl soon earns $1 million in a month. And what's even crazier, this story is based on real-life news. Lynn, a top secondary school student living with her father, is accepted into a prestigious school. On the first day of school, with her outstanding arithmetic skills, she precisely calculates the number of her tuition fees. The principal is so impressed that she not only waives her tuition fee, but also provides her with a scholarship. But when she returns home, she notices that the school has collected an extra 20,000 baht from her father. She is very sad, feeling that her talent is not worth mentioning in front of the capitalists. In the midterm exam, Lynn finds that the teacher has been leaking questions in private tutoring sessions, though practiced before the exam. Her friend Grace still could not answer the questions. Looking at the hypocritical proctor, Lynn writes the answers on an eraser and passes it to Grace in her shoe. However, Grace gets nervous and accidentally kicks her shoe into the middle of the road. Then, Lynn quickly collects her papers and gets up. She steps on the shoe and walks to hand in her paper, successfully diverting the proctor's attention. After the exam, as a gesture of appreciation, Grace takes Lynn to her boyfriend Pat's house to have fun, seeing the mansion and the luxury pool. Lynn, who comes from a poor family, is dazzled. Pat comes from a very wealthy family. He learned from Grace about Lynn's help in cheating, and also wants her help. Hearing that, Lynn looks at Grace with a little anger. It is supposed to be a secret between friends, and she has no intention to do this favor. But soon Pat makes an offer that no one can refuse. 3,000 baht for cheating on one exam. And the fee is calculated on a per-person basis. It's quite a lot of money. Thinking of the school's scandalous practice of charging extra fees, Lynn decides to make the deal with Pat. Moreover, to prevent herself from getting exposed, she comes up with a new cheating method. Look carefully. Her fingers are tapping on the table, and other students are staring at her and filling in the answers on the answer key. Don't doubt, this is a special group cheat. By corresponding the alphabet with the fingering of the piano, Lynn delivers answers in exams. In this way, those rich kids rely on this method to survive in school for 2 years. As the scale of cheating keeps growing, Lynn has earned a lot too. She buys her father a designer shirt, claiming she earned it by tutoring piano for her classmates. However, something unexpected happens. In one exam, there are 2 sets of papers, so Lynn has to complete both. But before she gets a chance to catch her breath, she is denounced. Not only does she lose her scholarship, she also loses the qualification of being guaranteed to go abroad. Desperate, Lynn finds Bank, the schoolmate who denounced her. Bank is another top student with excellent academic performance. He is from a poor family, relying on his mother's laundry to pay for his education. Originally, Lynn plans to take him on as a partner. Not surprisingly, Bank decisively refuses. Hearing this, Pat directly calls a group of gangsters. They beat him up and throw him into the garbage dump, which causes him to miss the scholarship exam. Thus, he loses the chance to change his fate. With no other choice, Bank decides to cooperate with Lynn and help them cheat. They practice timing and memorizing the questions, and even rehearse to make the plan go smoothly. Pat also manages to pull in more clients. They quickly get millions of baht. But in the last rehearsal, Pat accidentally says something out of turn. "You were beaten by the gangsters, then thrown to the dump." No one knows this unless they are involved. Having found out the truth about being set up, Bank jumps him straight to the ground. Lynn wants to stop him, but gets hit in the nose. Pat tries to hold him back by apologies, but Bank says, "I'm not as lucky as you are. Getting a scholarship is my only way out." Bank leaves after a rant. He comes to a bus stop, and there is a billboard advertising laundry detergent, and he remembers his mother. Lynn is chasing after him, but to her surprise, Bank returns and decides to finish the plan. Looking at her puzzled eyes, he replies, "I will continue to do it. At least I can earn money." Poverty finally becomes the last straw that crushes him. By helping rich schoolmates cheat, Lynn easily earns millions a month, and this time, she is planning an international group cheat with thousands of people involved. Even the strictest STIC exam, she still finds a loophole in its mechanism. She decides to take advantage of the time zone difference. If she takes the test in Australia, others in Thailand can get the answers in advance. There are 2 breaks in the exam, so she and Bank can go to the bathroom, find the phone she hides in advance, and send the answers she memorized. On the other side, Pat is responsible for printing the encrypted answers onto BS pencils. The thickness of the lines on the barcodes will represent different answers to the multiple choice questions. When the plan is finalized, Pat attracts a group of clients, and they soon earn 7.5 million baht. Soon after, Lin and Bank fly to Australia to take the exam. They hide their cell phones in the lids of the toilet tanks and make it into the exam room. Then the test begins. After finishing the test paper, they start reciting the answers. When the bell rings, they hurry to transmit the memorized answers through cell phones. But at that time, Bank asks for an increase in his commission. Receiving the message, Pat furiously kicks at the machine next to him, but it can only comply after receiving the message that the transfer has arrived. Bank starts to text answers as promised. However, when second intermission bell rings, Bank still hasn't finished texting. The proctor notices the anomaly and keeps knocking at the door, which makes Bank panic. In his rush, he breaks the lid of the toilet tank. With no place to hide the phone, he has to throw the phone into the toilet. On the other side, Lin also fails to transmit the answers. The proctor suspects her and searches the lady's room. Luckily, she has hidden her cell phone in her boot, but because of Bank's cheating behavior, the proctors restart the body search process. Lin smartly hides her cell phone under the water dispenser. Back to the examination hall, Lin quickly memorizes all the answers. After that, she stabs a pencil down her throat to stimulate vomiting and pretends to be sick. Then she leaves despite the warnings. To escape from the pursuing proctor, Lin flees to the subway station, sending answers as she walks. However, she misses the subway and ends up in a dead end. Seeing the proctor approaching, she buys cookies and water, swallows and then throws up, making the proctor think she is getting sicker. Then she quietly slips her cell phone into a stranger's bag and successfully escapes from the situation. After returning to the examination hall, she sees Bank, who takes the punishment alone. As a result, he is banned from the examination for life and cannot continue his studies either. Just like that, a genius who once had a bright future finally loses everything. Back in Thailand, Lin decides to make a clean break with the rich kids. But after a while, Bank comes to her, saying that he is planning another group cheat to make money and wants to invite her to cooperate. But this time she refuses. Bank threatens to denounce everyone, but she still firmly opens the door and walks away. In the end, Lin chooses to turn herself in and takes the price she deserves. 2 geniuses with a similar background. One ends up in the dark, the other abandons everything to go into the light. One's talent should not be used as a tool for opportunism. All the wrong choices made to make a quick buck will eventually come back to hurt themselves. This movie was inspired by real-life news of students cheating on the set. The prototype came from a group of Asian students. The movie broke Thai films' earning records in several Asian countries and could still be called a classic today. The takeaway from the movie is that only honest efforts can be worthy of one's great talent. Otherwise, one will eventually be backfired by his talent.